Hello, my little triglets. Today we're doing section 7.8. Section 7.8 is the last section for this trimester. So this will be the last time you hear my voice on the video for a little while. My soothing voice, I know. All right, today we are going to decompose. Not ourselves, not our own bodies, but we're going to decompose into partial fractions. So we're going to learn to break things down a little bit. But before we can break them down, I got to show you how they are built up first. So let's start with 2 over x minus 3 and 5 over x plus 1. And we are going to add these two fractions together. Now adding fractions, you need common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this side by the other one's denominator. So x minus 3 and this side by the x plus 1. That way it gives us the common denominator of x minus 3, x plus 1, and then distributing the 2 and the 5 into the parentheses, I get 2x plus 2, this plus sign stays there, and I get 5x minus 15. Now I just want to simplify that a little bit, and I get 7x minus 13 over x plus 3, x minus 3. Let's try that again. And x plus 1. Going a little bit further, I could FOIL the bottom, and I get 7x minus 13, and then x squared minus 2x minus 3. So this was found when you're adding those two together. Now what we are going to do is we're going to go backwards. We're going to get something like this, and we're going to go backwards and get it into its partial fractions. One fraction here and one fraction there. So we're going to do the same problem, but in the opposite order. So I'm going to start out with 7x minus 13 over x minus 3x plus 1. So the bottom has already been FOILed out or factored out. Now, the first thing we do is we notice there are two parts to the denominator, so we're going to put two parts here. This is always a plus sign, no matter what. And then this part goes here. Now we don't know what the top numbers are going to be. They're really not any combination to get the 7x with the 13. So we're going to put placeholders in there, A and B, to start with. Okay, so that's our first step, is placeholders. Okay, the second step is we're going to multiply by the common denominator. Now our common denominator is this. So I'm going to multiply everything by that. So if you put big parentheses around it and say, okay, I'm multiplying everything by x. I keep writing plus, but it's minus. X minus 3 and x plus 1. And see what happens. So if I take this and multiply it by this first one, both of these parentheses are going to cancel with both of these, and you're going to end up with 7x minus 13. Okay, now I'm going to take this and multiply it by that. Well, here the x minus 3's cancel, and you have a and x plus 1 left over. So the x minus 3's will cancel. Now if I go to here, the x plus 1's cancel, and you're left with b times x minus 3. Okay, so that is multiplied by the denominator. All right, the next thing we have to do is, I like to call it choose to lose. Okay, we're going to choose to lose either A or B. So let's say I want to get rid of A, then this needs to be 0, because then I'll have 0A and it'll be gone, and I'll be able to solve for B then. So the x we choose has to make this 0. So I'm going to choose x to be -1 in order to lose the A variable and solve for B. So put a -1 in wherever you see x. So 7 times -1, and then minus 13. And I have 0 plus b times -1 minus 3. So over here I get -4b equals -7 minus 13 is -20. So b equals 5. Okay, so that part's done. Now I'm going to choose to lose b. So I need to choose a -3. Let's change colors here. Or I need to choose a 3. So if x equals 3, then I get 7 times 3 minus 13 equals a times 3 plus 1 plus 0. So this whole part becomes 0. So I get 21 minus 13 is 8, and that equals 4a, so a equals 2. So those are done. The last step is to take this b and put it up here, this a and put it up here. So I have 2 over x minus 3 plus 5 over x plus 1. Now look at the page before. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Look at the page before and notice that's exactly what we started with. And that's how we got the 2 and the 5. This placeholder system is how you get the 2 and the 5. All right, let's try another one. These get easier as you do more of them, so you really have to practice. So the directions are just to decompose. So I have x minus 6 and then x squared minus 2x. So the bottom is not factored, so that's the first thing you need to do. X minus 6 stays here. I'm going to take an x out front. I'm left with x minus 2. Now I see I have two parts. This is where I put the placeholders in. A over x, b over x minus 2. The next step is you multiply by the common denominator. So I'm going to take this whole thing and multiply it by x times x minus 2. So in this part, it all cancels, and I'm left with x minus 6. Here, just the x cancels, and I'm left with the x minus 2 part. Here, the x minus 2 part cancels, and I'm left with just the x. So that's b times x. Next, we choose to lose. So the first one I'm going to choose is x equals 2. So I get 2 minus 6 equals 0 plus 2b. So -4 equals 2b. b equals -2. Okay, that part's done. Next, I'm going to choose x to be 0. So I get 0 minus 6 equals a times 0 minus 2 plus 0. So -6 equals -2a, so a equals 3. Last step, you substitute these back in up here, and you get 3 over x plus, now I have a plus there, but this is a minus 2, so you could say minus, or you can just put it as a -2 there. So either that or this is proper. Okay, so that's when you have two different denominators. Let's do one with 3. Okay, so first thing, 4x squared plus 13x minus 12 is the numerator. Then x cubed minus plus x squared minus 6x is the denominator. So at this point, you could use the poly button to figure out what the factors are, you know, what the parentheses version of that is. That's where you could use a graphing calculator. Really, we can do this without that. If I take, let's write the numerator again. If I take an x out, I'll have x squared plus x minus 6. And then factoring that, I get x and x. 6 would be 3 and 2 plus and minus. So you can do it without, but you can use the poly button to help you out there too. So a over x, b over x plus 3, and c over x minus 2 is how we set it up. All right, so we're going to multiply the whole thing by x times x plus 3 times x minus 2. So remember, this is what that is. If I factor it out, well, we can go right here. So let's just do it here. So these three up here at the top, I'm going to cancel with those, which just leaves me that numerator, 4x squared plus 13x minus 12. All right, here now the x cancels, and I'm left with x plus 3 and x minus 2. Here the x plus 3 cancels, I'm left with x and x minus 2. Here the x minus 2 cancels, and I'm left with x and x plus 3. Okay, choosing to lose. I'm going to choose x equals negative 3. So plugging that in, I get 4 times 9. Negative 3 times 13 is negative 39 minus 12. So I have 36 minus 39 is negative 3, so that's negative 15. Here I get 0 times that, so it's all 0. Then I have b times negative 3 times negative 5. And c will be, since this will be 0, it'll just all be 0 again. So I have negative 15 equals negative or positive 15b. So b equals negative 1. All right, now if we have b is negative 1, let's choose to lose the next one. So we're just going to choose the next parentheses is 2. Let me do a different color. If x equals 2, then subbing in up here, I get 4 times 4 is 16 plus 26 minus 12. So that's 42 minus 12 is 30. Then I have 0. This one will make 0. And then the c part, I'll have 2 times 5. So I really just have 30 equals 10c, so c equals 3. All right, we'll see if I can squeeze the last choose to lose in there. My next choose to lose is 0. That's easy. So I have 0, 0, so negative 12 on the left. Then I have 3 times negative 2, so negative 6a. And then the other two are zeros because they have the plain x in there, which makes them both 0. So divide by negative 6, I get a equals 2. So the last thing you do is you plug those three in right here, A, B, and C, and that gets you your final result. Okay, so that's about it. You got to just follow the pattern. The math isn't that difficult, but you know, you got to be careful. You're not going to get, you might get fractions like a half or 2/3 or something, but you're not going to get like 17/41. You know, that's a little bit too weird. So if you're getting weird answers like that, something has gone horribly wrong and you need to check. All right, gang. The Trig notes are done for the year. Not for the year, for the term. It's been lovely and hope you join for Trig B also. All right, ta-ta for now.